Well, hello there. We are back for more animation. So, picking up from yesterday, we're going to keep cleaning up and coloring the animation that we've got here. So, if you're new to my channel, um, I'm working on a scene in real time, and this is to give people who are watching an opportunity to see something that's being made in real time. And you can see what happens when you see someone working on a real project, a real animated project in real time. And you can also put comments in the comment section below if you want, or questions that you might have. Um, you can go back and watch previous videos that I've done on this particular project, which will get you caught up as to like what I'm doing and all the little things that are going on. This is done in real time so that you would be able to see step by step how I'm doing what I'm doing. And if it is some help to you, then that's why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. All right, so we're working on Miguel right now, and I'm working in Rough Animator. That's the program I'm using. I have my brush set. Let's see, what does it say? It's 7 pixels for the clean line. And all of the characters in this scene are on the same layer. Which makes it a little tricky for me in some ways, because obviously when you have everything on the same layer, you're going to have to be a little more careful about how the characters interact. But they interact a lot better when you have them all in the same layer. And in this scene, they're coming together and they're going to hug each other, which I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, so Miguel has black hair here, and let's see. I'm gonna do his eyes, and I'm gonna put some white behind his pupils because there's a space between the edge of the eye and the skin, so I don't want to. See, when you can see right there, see when I put the color in there, you can see if I hadn't put that white there, then you wouldn't. Let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah, then you wouldn't be able to see the eye color would fill in with the skin color. So that's why I did that. So this to prevent the eye color, the skin going into the eye color. That's what I was doing. Preventing the skin color from going into the eye color just by putting white behind the eyes there. And I'm using I'm also working behind the line here so that the color is working behind the line. So like the blue line or the black line, I put oh, I see what that is. Yeah, I put let's see, so it's a blank. Yeah, okay, I see what it is. The color is working behind the black line. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Jason's in the air. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Jason's got the lighter line. Sometimes I think I should go with a thinner line, but I say now that I think maybe not, because um, I think when the line is 7 pixels here, I can taper it at places, which I think makes it look nicer. The more I do animation and finish it up with a line, a color line, the more I understand the reasoning behind why Walt Disney Company used to do all of their cleanup ink lines in color. It makes sense to me because the color line um, it softens everything. You get a softening with a color line, and if you do a really thin line, it kind of almost gives you the same effect. But a color line seems to, well, it gives an illustrated kind of quality to your scene. Yeah. Put some white behind this eye like I did with Miguel. So then, now I can go in and put color. So I can put color on his face, his hands, his legs, hair. So you see how when I put it in his face, you can see how the eye is, how it works on the eye. Let's see if I got them right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you see how it works on the eye, see, because it fills in that area. Let's see, the pants. There. Let's see. I'm going to change this line here. Yeah. And then the dreaded stripes. I don't think this is going to be so much of a problem because I got in ahead of it. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, working behind the line is very handy Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Okay. So fill that in, fill that in, fill that in, that in, fill that in. I think the, um, okay, that, okay, good. All right. So, yeah. Yeah, you can see I got them come in, they hug each other, so, yeah. But see, they're all in the same layer, so, yeah, it's a little tricky. I kind of I don't really have much of a choice. You know, if they were all, I think I mentioned yesterday that if you've got all your characters on the same layer, you kind of have to have them on the same layer when you're doing, when you have a scene where you have the characters are interacting, where they literally are touching each other, then you kind of don't really, I think you have to put them all on the same layer. But toward the end of the lesson yesterday, I think I did mention that you could animate it that way where they're on the same layer. But then when you get ready to paint it, you could technically separate the layers, or separate the characters rather. And that probably would work. You know, and the reason why separating them might be good when you're painting it is because I think while I was talking about how you can copy paste in color. So like if you've got a character, you'd follow through on that character instead of like I'm painting all the characters now at the same time, but I'm doing that because they are all on the same layer. But if I were, I could have technically I could have separated each character, painting each going through the scene and painting each character on a separate layer. Then I might have been able to, for instance, copy paste parts of the character, even all of the color if I wanted, which would probably be faster, say, than doing each one separately uh, on the same layer. So, but I didn't do that here. I didn't do it because I didn't think to do it, to be honest. But when I look back now, I realize, you know, I could have done that. And perhaps as I move through this scene, there may be other opportunities for me to address a scene where I have characters interacting and do what I'm talking about. I'll try to remember that as I move forward on this project. Because you'll see me finish the entire project in these lessons, and then you'll also see the entire project put together in these lessons as well. Let's see. Right. Uh, Sometimes I have to flip the color layers to make sure that I am painting something the right color. happens. Okay, now we get Nora in here. Nora's behind Lenny. And I have my setting on the brush as draws behind, so that she is literally behind him. So as I make my line here, the line will automatically be behind. Oops, hold up. I think I'm getting that wrong. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay. Yeah, so let me go back here. Okay, yeah. The skin line. Yeah, I got that wrong. The hair is black, so let's keep that. Yeah, see, this is why you have to kind of flip sometimes. You know, with these types of scenes, when you have all the characters on the same layer, you can forget what color, who's what color, so you have to kind of flip back to the previous color or the previous drawing so that you can see what color things are. See, her skin is that color there. And that goes in now. Let's see. Oh, okay, see, now there's something that's missing right there. She's going to have a bracelet on that'll be there that I didn't draw. So I got to draw that. I left that out. That's her arm there and here. Right, okay. Then I think this is the shirt color here and here. And see, she's going to have the bracelet right here, I think, yeah. There's the shirt. And let's see. Oh, yeah, she has her mouth color is right there. Okay. And then the pants is a light blue here. There we go. Okay, so back to the black. Black is for the hair. Here, here, and here. Her skin color here, 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 there, here, here. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Shirt, I believe, is this color. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, I'm right. So the bracelet would be the same color. Right. Okay. So I need to use my pen to get in there. Then let's see. So I'm going to switch this line so that it's on top, and this will cover where the skin color is overlapping the bracelet right there. And the same thing here where it's over. Oh, dip, wrong. Undo. This is the skin color over the face color right there. Okay. Good. All right. We'll go back to it being behind. And then I believe the pants are also just blue. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay, so then off to Miguel. We'll move Miguel over so he's in the clear here. So that's a black line. There. There we go. As I've talked about line quality in the past, developing a line quality in your cleanup is just something that you have to practice a lot to get your lines to be kind of smooth. And I'm not saying that mine are perfect, because they certainly aren't. But you just work on that. I don't know. I wouldn't say you'd have to have everything be really perfect. Kind of up to you. I know I mentioned in some earlier videos that there are methods that will allow you, like in Photoshop, there's a way you can make really clean straight lines, and that can be very helpful. However, in this kind of a scenario, I would think it would be very time consuming to do that. However, not to say you couldn't. You certainly could do that if you want. I guess that's kind of up to you how far you will go in cleaning up your drawings to make them look nice. When I think of the amount of work that the artist did back in the day at Disney to make a single animation cell, I'm floored at the thought of what they went through to accomplish the look that you see in Snow White and Pinocchio and some of the great old Disney films. So, from that standpoint, I'm humbled by what those great people of the old days did. So, in that scenario, I certainly am very humbled by that. I think, yeah, I mean, if they were willing to put that kind of work into their animation, why can't I do that? I mean, with the computer, all of the wonderful things that computers will do for us today, it just seems to me that it's really easy by comparison to put in the work to get the quality up on the screen. Seems like to me it's a small thing to ask. I personally think that doing the very best quality that you can on any animated project I just think it's a must. I personally really care a lot about how something looks in the final. That's just me. Everybody is going to have their own approach to this stuff, and you just find what works for you. But I like the extra effort put in, and I like it on all levels, because I think that there is a certain what's the word? Well, I look at it as a love of the art form, a love of what we're doing, and I also look at it as an improvement for the artist. It's like there's a certain level of just pride for what you do. I don't know, maybe that's it, or I don't know. I think you get better as you put more effort into something, obviously, and but that it becomes an individual thing, You have to, yeah, you got to. I think there is a settling in one's own self about it, where you make a decision. You say, okay, this is the amount of work I'm willing to do. This is the effort I'm willing to put in. And I don't think anybody can tell you what that is. I think you end up just doing it. People who work in this business, the thing I've noticed is that there is a real excitement and a real pure love for what we do, and you see it. And even though I've been out of the business now for a number of years as a retired animation artist, the young people that I see that get into this business have the same energy and enthusiasm that I had when I was their age. And it's very inspiring to see, and I'm always happy to see young people that are doing this stuff with the same energy and the same enthusiasm. And I think it's important that we older artists encourage that, encourage the young people to do, to continue to do quality, to put their best foot forward, trying to make the best, possible project they can make. I think. I also feel very strongly about artists doing their own stuff too. I think, um, primarily because we have the ability to do it now. It's like I said, when I first got into this business, you could do your own film, and there were people who were doing that. But it was always just an incredible amount of work that it took to make something, and that was fine. I don't think anybody cared. you know, all of the folks that I knew that I met that were making their own films, and myself included, we didn't mind that it was taking us years, literally, to make something that was only a few minutes long. But now it's just so easy for you to make something yourself where it doesn't necessarily have to take you years. You know, now you can make something and it can take you, a few months and you're done. So I don't know. I mean, I think, if you're a young person doing this stuff, I think it's great. I would, man, seems like to me, I mean, that would be the thing to do, would be to make your own project, you know, because you can, because it's not that hard. It is doable. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's not going to take you years. I had a film I worked done. It took me 4 years to make it, and I think it was about 7 minutes long. And but I enjoyed it. That was kind of therapy for me, to be honest. But it took me 4 years. Well, that just goes to show how much animation has meant to me and still means to me. So if you can use these computers and all the wonderful little gadgets that we have now to make something, it seems like to me, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. It's so much easier to do it now than ever. Okay, well, anyways, so we'll stop there. So, all right. So, hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Um, you know, don't forget to thank God for your talents and gifts. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, Jesus is Lord.